Death, divorce, and destruction. The dirty side of real estate.
Oh, we're going to talk about the dirt today. You are listening to Home Sellers Advantage. I'm Aaron Zapata, your co-host.
And I'm Todd Anderson, your other co-host. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Properties, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv. Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD.
That's 833-305-2253. Give us a call today.
Welcome back to the Home Sellers Advantage. If you own a home, we're here to give you the advantage in today's weird and crazy real estate world. And what's the topic today?
Well, on our intro, death, divorce, destruction, the 3Ds. We're the seedy underbelly of real estate. We want to make this as dramatic as possible, but the fact of the matter is, some of the programs that have made real estate so popular are luxurious and glamorous, but anybody who gets involved in real estate very quickly learns that it's not always as glamorous as the popular culture tries to make it out to be.
Yeah, it's not all about driving nice cars, selling multi-million-dollar homes, and, fighting with other realtors at some networking event. It really is a lot of work, and we're going to talk about some actual firsthand experiences that Todd and I have had over the years as we have done this. And at the end of the day, real estate agents have a job to do, and that is to market homes, and we all love it when we get the call, and it's a beautiful $2 million property.
Yep.
Everything's been fixed up.
Turnkey, move-in ready.
Oh, yeah. We love that.
Picture perfect.
We love that. We
Those
love
are
that.
Great, yeah.
But those are not the everyday occurrence.
No.
Especially for us. And we have a couple of niches that we've worked in. We do a lot of probate properties. We talked about it on the show quite a bit. But sometimes it's inherited homes. It's not a probate, but it's inherited home or it's a divorce situation.
Yeah.
And so we thought we would just recount for you, our listening audience, some of those crazy stories.
Some of the highlights. We're not going to bore you with all the details, but just kind of some cursory highlights of some of the more challenging transactions that we've done in the last years.
So buckle up. We hope you enjoy this show. And you're listening to the Home Sellers Advantage, and you can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. www.baldbrothers.tv. And if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome to the show. And if you'd like to, you can give us a call at 833-305-2253. That's 833-305-BALD, B-A-L-D. Because Todd and myself, if you've not seen us, we are bald. And it's the Bald Brothers team.
And that's why we were on the radio for a bit of time, because we had faces for radio.
We did. But we decided to show y'all on YouTube.
The YouTube audience, unfortunately, has to bear with us.
That's right.
Close your eyes.
That's right. And most emojis are bald, by the way. So just a tidbit of factoid there. All right. So remember when we were introduced to a property by a court-appointed administrator?
That's right.
Now, the only time you get to a court-appointed administrator is when you don't have parties that agree.
Yep.
And the court finally says, forget it. You guys are not agreeing. I am sending somebody else to make all the decisions. And we got this call, and there were two properties out in L.A.
Yeah.
And
L.A. County, yeah. One in East L.A. or South Central area, and then one was in Compton.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting because we ended up talking with one of the siblings, and essentially the story that we were told goes like this. Dad did not like his kids. His kids did not like him.
In fact, we were told the dad hates the kids.
We were. I'm kind of being...
You're being nice.
Being nice, okay. And he literally told the kids, since y'all hate me and we don't have a good relationship, I am purposely not going to put the home in a trust, in a will, and y'all can fight over it.
Yep. And fight they did.
And fight they did. So 5 siblings, all with their own attorneys, fighting over these two properties. And it was terrible. The only person that won was the attorneys.
Yeah.
Multiple
attorneys.
5 attorneys.
Involved.
Yeah.
5 attorneys. I think it was 4 siblings, wasn't it? And then the administrator had their own attorney as well. Yeah.
So 5 attorneys involved, and it was it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the property, and one of them was in deplorable conditions. In fact, one of the tenants told us that
I would say that they were both in deplorable conditions.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. So Todd is the honest one here. I am trying to just make it sound better, I guess. All deplorable. And the one tenant told us, I haven't paid my rent in a year because they don't have running water.
Yeah.
And it was insane. I mean, we went into these properties, and it was gross. The kitchens didn't work. The bathrooms didn't work. You could see through the floorboards.
Yeah, and one you could see through the floors all the way to the ground. When you and I, when it was finally clear, this is after several months, I think over a year actually, when it was finally clear we could go in, I had to keep stepping out because the odor was so poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad.
And these were properties that, we inherited them as listing agents. It came from the administrator, but nobody had information on the property. They didn't know who the tenants were. They didn't know how much they were paying in rent, if they were paying rent, and if they were, who were they paying rent to?
Yeah.
The condition of the property. We had to go in sight unseen and do basically our own investigation.
Yeah.
And in many of these cases, it is at peril to yourself because you don't know what you're walking into. If the tenants are angry, especially when they find out you're going to be selling their place that they're living in.
Yeah.
And we did have some of that. Without going into all the details, I had cussed out and doors slammed in my face and all that and the other. But we managed to get through it all.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Eventually it was sold to an investor who purchased it with the tenants in one of the properties.
One of them, yeah.
The 2 different properties sold to 2 different people, but both went to investors. Because neither property was inhabitable, really, they had to go to investors who fixed them up and flipped them and things like that. Yeah. So, which is great for the properties, great for the communities, tough for the tenants, but tough for us because we didn't know what we were getting into. We didn't know who we were dealing with. And then the city of LA, if you've ever sold a property in the city of LA, the city themselves have extra like overlays of paperwork. And so I had to go down to the city. I had to go all the way to downtown LA, file paperwork. I had to go to downtown Compton.
Compton also has their
paperwork.
Yeah, they require you to have your own business license within the city to sell real estate.
That's right. I had to get a business license.
We had to get a business license for that. There was a cash grab for just about everything.
Oh yeah, it was. And then if the guy didn't show up on the day of the inspection, you had to reschedule it. It was terrible. It was literally some of the toughest ones we've ever done.
Yep.
So that it is what it is. That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Okay. And then some of the divorcing situations. We all know this. If you're going through a divorce, it's more than likely not amicable.
Yeah.
You normally don't have people that are like, buddy, we're in it together. Let's get it done.
If you're going through a divorce and 2 attorneys are involved representing both sides for the sale of the property, oftentimes it means that there might be some conflict.
Yeah, there normally is, right? And so oftentimes we have to come in and we end up playing a mediator.
Yeah, we're a neutral party, and our goal, our sole purpose is to sell the property for the most possible on behalf of both sellers.
Yes.
And so that is our job. That is our duty. Now, occasionally, when there is a divorce situation, you might think that this is strange, but you might have one party that is working against you on that because out of spite or whatever reasons they don't want things to go smoothly for the other party. And so our job is to basically sell the home for the highest value possible and to cut through all of that.
And we've had that. We've had that where we create a group text and we have the 2 spouses, soon to be ex-spouses, just being rude and nasty to each other in the group text. And we have to remind them, hey, this is professional. We're doing our job. We're all going to get through this. But divorces are, again, another dirty side of this business because most people aren't happy.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. And if you are going through a divorce, I do want to say this. Sell the property earlier than later because you or your soon-to-be ex-spouse will leverage the property as as a tool, as a weapon against the other person, more often than not. So,
and that's what happens. That's what happened in a couple of our scenarios.
And again, the only people that win in that case are typically the attorneys, because they love that we get to include them on conversations, because then they get to bill you for it. And again, the earlier you sell the property in the process, the better, because it's not easy.
Yep. Hey, if you're just punching in and listening to us, this is the Home Sellers Advantage.
Punching in.
This is the Home Sellers Advantage show. We are the Bald Brothers team with Impact Realty Group. And you can call us at 833-305-BALD, 833-305-2253. And you may be listening and saying, hey, you know what? I think I've got one that fits the description of what you're describing. Hey, we are ready and able to take it on. So give us a call, 833-305-BALD. You can also go to our website at baldbrothers.tv.
That's right.
And get more information there as well.
And we want a quick shout out to our sponsors, Beacon Escrow and Crosswalk Mortgage. Thank you for always helping us and our clients through these crazy matters that we're talking about today. So we see it all together. So guess what?
What?
Dead cars.
Oh, yeah. Dead multiple cars on a property. We had a probate listing recently where the decedent liked to tinker, and he had multiple vehicles and off-road vehicles. I think it was a total, I don't remember.
Five cars.
Okay, it seemed like 7. Oh, you know, there was a big trailer, and then there was an entire motor inside the garage.
Oh, yeah.
So there were a lot of items, and so we joked that we became used car salesmen on that deal.
We sold 9 cars last year.
We did. We sold 9 cars.
9 cars.
Yep.
Not that we sold them, but we had to arrange for them to be sold because we're not auto people. But, you know, there were 9 vehicles that we had to help dispose of.
But we were down there sorting keys, trying to get the cars started, having mechanics come down there. And
remember the van we had to pull out of the garage? Yeah. And AAA came. We had to push it out of the garage with the help of other people. I don't know if you were there the day.
That was in Costa Mesa.
Yeah. We had the white van, and it was full of junk. It was full of trash, right? Yeah. And so we had this property that we were selling. We had to back it out of the garage. Then we had to stick something under the tire so it didn't roll down the street because we couldn't start it. And then the tow guy came, and we were able to line it up, and he was able to pull it onto his truck, thankfully.
It was the second attempt to tow it. First time they came, the first time was a fail. The second time they were able to tow it.
That's right. So we deal with cars. We deal with things like that. Again, that's not stuff that we get paid for, but it's stuff that, you know, we want to offer a full service to our clients that says we'll take care of the matter. Okay. And also, you know, we've had tenant issues. Yeah. So cars that we have to dispose of. We also have to sometimes rid the property of the tenants. And if you're a tenant and you're a renter listening to this, you know, hopefully you've never had to go through that process. But again, if you know that you're renting from somebody who passes away, you're going to lose your dwelling. You're going to have to move. Yeah. And so oftentimes, in fact, only in these times have we ever had to evict tenants. Yeah. You know, through this process.
Yeah. And we've taken that on multiple times. Now, occasionally, you can sell a property with tenants in place, but expect to do it at a great discount because there are investor buyers out there that will buy a property with the tenants in place, and then they will do their job to get rid of the tenants. And so, but just if you want to go that route, you're gonna end up giving a deep discount for that. So it's always advisable to do what you can to get them out, and we have worked through that scenario multiple times.
Yes, we have. In fact, if you want to go back to one of our episodes, I'm trying to look it up right now, but we had an episode where we kind of recounted the entire transaction of one of the properties that was really, really, really tough. And we had to have the tenant evicted and then arrested. And that's never fun. Yeah.
And we actually have a listing coming up where we already know that the property has had problems multiple times with squatters. And we did a drive-by the other night, a good kind of drive-by, just to check the activity at night, see if anybody was there. And so, you know, every property is different. But we're finding in this market, more often than not, a lot of the properties that we're dealing with do have a lot of these difficult scenarios that have to be worked through.
Yeah. So I sold a house one time, and I remember previewing it with my investor. This was in Ontario. Okay. And when we were greeted at the front door of this home by the listing agent, she handed us 3 things. She handed us gloves, face masks, and this was pre-COVID, and foot coverings.
Mm-hmm.
She says, you're going to need these.
And then burn them when you're done.
And then burn them when you're done. And as we went through the home, we discovered that humans and pets have all defecated in this home, in every room, all over the place.
Lovely.
And it was nasty and gross and disgusting, and it made your skin crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And my investor looked at this and said, this is the one. I love it. I love it. And so
there is a buyer for every property.
We went in the backyard, and there was a broken down vehicle. You know what? We got rid of a boat last year.
That's right.
The boat.
That's right.
We didn't have that in our list of things that we disposed of. And so we had this home, and it was terrible. And my investor said, this smells like money.
Mm-hmm.
It smells like money to me.
Yeah.
And so he bought it, he flipped it, made over $100,000 in this profit on this property, a small little property. And so that was probably the grossest one that I've been in. I did represent a buyer on a short sale where they didn't let the cat out of the house, and it had been in the house for 7 days, and up and down the stairs trying to find a way out. And it had peed and pooped in all the rooms.
It was in Eastville, I think.
It was in Eastville? Yeah, actually in Chino Hills.
Okay.
Chino.
In
the preserve.
Preserve area.
It was a newer home, too.
Yeah, those are new homes in that area.
And so this cat had jumped up and scratched every wall and every window. Yeah. Poor cat. I don't know what happened to the cat, but the backyard was full of the dog's poop and everything like that. It was just sad. Yeah. And it was a short sale.
Yeah.
So that's never good.
Yeah.
Never good.
So today we are talking about death, divorce, destruction, the dirty side of real estate, and just sharing some of our own personal stories. But just to let you know who are taking this in, it's part of it's entertainment, just to kind of hear some of the stories that are out there. But part of it's educational, let you know that when it comes to real estate, you may be thinking, I can't sell the home because until it's like what I see on HGTV or some of these programs. And that's not the case at all. If you want to get the best dollar value for it, absolutely fix it up. But oftentimes it's just not feasible or reasonable. And so a lot of the real estate is not the easiest to deal with. And so if you give us a call at 833-305-BALD, that's 833-305-2253, we have an answering service that will pick up, and you give them the information. You can say, hey, I have got a disaster of a home, and I think it's a job for the Bald Brothers. Let them know. They'll let us know. We'll give you a call back. And you can go to baldbrothers.tv, our website, for a lot more information over there. So dealing with the dirty side of real estate today.
That's right. I showed a luxury bank repo back in the day. This was now over 12 years ago. It was in Anaheim Hills, and it was a almost 10,000 square foot home. And it was at that time $1 million. Back then. And it was $1 million because the tenant that moved out destroyed it. And I actually created a YouTube video that was pretty popular way back when of this home. I did a walkthrough. And there's holes punched in the walls. There's missing things. Appliances are gone. Windows are broken. The beautiful travertine floor is cracked in places. The backyard pool was completely green.
Hadn't been maintained.
I remember there was a dead rat in the pool, that had fallen in, and it was dead. It was gross. A beautiful view. But it was a disaster. And the yard was a big piece of property. And so those things happen. When properties don't get maintained, destruction takes over. I have been in homes where I could, let's say it's a 1,200 square foot house, because this one that I'm thinking about was approximately 1,200 square feet. I maybe saw 12 square feet of it. And that was the 6-inch pathway that went from room to room that wasn't covered by something. And it was a hoarder house.
Hoarders.
And I just remember walking to this home, and I know it's a mental disorder. And so, we do have some compassion for that. And so, this is not a comment about that. It is a comment about the things we see. And again, looking at it with a different investor, we didn't end up buying it because there was a big, huge tree stump that was right next to the home that was raising the entire corner of the house, and that was a big foundational issue. But the hoarding stuff was no problem for him. It was like, hey, let's go. This is great. I can clear this out. But we had to pass on that one. But I just remember, sometimes we sell things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
And what you and I come through as agents, Todd, is we don't know what we're signing up for.
Yeah.
We get referrals from a lot of different attorneys, banks, agents, and they say, hey, you guys got to go take a look at this.
Yeah.
And our commitment, and we get asked this all the time, why did you guys sign up for this? Why did you guys agree for that to this? We believe that we do a great service.
That's right.
We provide a service. Yeah. Somebody's going to do it.
And each home requires a different strategy. I mean, overall, our marketing strategy is pretty similar, but to get there to the point that we can market it is a different strategy.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we take these listings and we learn as we go what needs to be done. And oftentimes, I've said it many times, that when it comes to selling real estate, our job is problem solvers. We don't always have the answer immediately, because there are some very strange scenarios that come up that you just don't learn ahead of time.
Right.
But we learn as we go through, and we solve those problems as we go along. And for us, we enjoy it. And the payoff for us is to be able to really do a job for our clients and to have them remove that stress, because this can be very stressful when you're dealing with those circumstances. To remove that stress from them is definitely a reward for us.
Yeah. And one of the other title topics that we talked today was death. And so, the probates are always because of death. And, we've got one coming up here in Lancaster, and the person died at the property. Right. And so that's a disclosure issue. And so we know how to work through that. We have another family that we're assisting who one of the members passed away. And so we're working with the family to work through that. And it's hard. It's not easy. It's a difficult time. It's an emotional time. And so we get to work with people through those circumstances. The burden of somebody who's handling the probate is tremendously large, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So, we get to try to take that burden and bear it with them so that we can help with that.
That's right.
And if you know that somebody has died on the property, if it's a natural death, there is a disclosure for a certain period of time. There is a discount in price because certain people won't buy homes. And so it's considered a stigma on a home. And so we have to learn how to work through that. If there was a crime committed at the property, you and I have never had to sell a home where there was a murder or anything like that. But I do know of homes, one here in Yorba Linda, that had a murder.
Yeah, we did represent a buyer a couple of years ago where there was a suicide on the property, but we haven't had a homicide so far.
Right. So when those things happen, we have to be very aware and handle those situations delicately, knowing that the information, the job we do requires professionalism, requires disclosure, requires, if there's stuff, and guys, if you're listening, your realtor, if he learns something about the property and it's going to cause you to buy it, or it's going to cause a huge change in the price, that has to be disclosed. So we come at this from a different perspective, knowing that as professionals, we don't learn information and then keep it to ourselves. Which is why we're talking about it today. Yeah. Because these are all public matters when we're going through the transaction. People find out if there's divorce. People know if there's death. People know if it's a probate. People understand those things. And we just get to go through it together with our clients.
That's right. Nope, but we've gone through many times. We have stories to share. Yeah. And if you'd like to be a part of that story and allow us to help you, we would be honored to be able to do so. So if you call us at 833-305-BALD, go to baldbrothers.tv. There's more information there. And we can start out with just a conversation. Yeah. And we'd love to help you.
And I'm going to end on this note.
Okay.
I sold a Holy House one time. The roof had a hole in it. And my investor loved it. Yeah. And part of the house had burned. And there was a big blue tarp over the living room roof in Yorba Linda. And my client looked at it and says, I want that property.
Mm-hmm.
So we got it at a great price.
Yeah.
He ended up fixing it, made a great profit because the property was partially destroyed.
Yeah.
And so whether it be death, divorce, destruction, whatever the dirt is on that property, we want to be a resource for you.
That's right.
If you're listening or you're watching this and you're thinking, I just got to call those guys and ask myself this. I got to ask them anywhere in the country. Just call us. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to be of assistance.
That's right.
And this concludes season
2.
2.
Season 3 coming up.
That's right. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.